How's everyone doing? Everybody on? Hey, who's on? Unfortunately, I can't exactly see. I'm using StreamYard, so go ahead and say hi in the chat if you want. Hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, man, I'm good. How y'all doing? I'm good here, just kind of doing an experiment. Never done this on a Friday night that I can recall, so I probably have. I just don't remember. So figured I'd see how well this works out. Kind of trying to have a goal of about 2 live streams per week. But I'm doing fantastic, actually. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I was gonna say this one's gonna be a little bit of anything and everything. Kind of some news I have coming down the pipe a little bit. I hear you. You guys might be the only ones on here. Gotta spread the word best I could. I think everyone's watching other streams, and I can't blame them. News I got is I'm about to put another story up. I'm gonna try to do some editing this weekend. Yeah, let's hear it. What question you got? Be glad to answer it best I can. Bear with me. I'm trying to see who's on this thing. Mm, okay, we got one. Yeah, ask away, man. I'll be glad to answer it. Best of my knowledge or my ability. Like I said, ask away. I ain't got no secrets. I ain't got nothing to hide. If you need help with anything, let me know, and I'll be doing my best to do so. Been a full week, busy week. Talked with quite a few people. Trying to get a couple people slotted for interviews, usual stuff. That's a good question. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff going on with that. That's a good question. Indigenous legends and different things. I definitely believe there's a connection. I mean, they know the old ways. They know things that many of us don't take into consideration. Here's something I was thinking about, not actually earlier today, like with the Wendigo. Back in the day, they were considered, they would be described as emaciated, humanoid monsters, almost like crawlers. But now, they're considered to have antlers and different things like that on their heads, almost deer like. I don't know what's up with that. I think a lot of that has to do with what the human mind projects, and I think these things pick up on it. I also believe the human mind can make fantasy reality in a lot of ways too. I think that was what's going on with like these Slenderman sightings and different things like that. I definitely think that the natives, they have a lot of power. A lot of them have serious power when it comes to the old ways. And I definitely think that naturally, even now, those totems were ways of projecting their beliefs. And I think there's definitely something going on with that even to this day, of course. Hell, look at the Four Corners Nations, the Navajo, of course, Cherokee. All of that has something going on. I mean, of course, that's just a small list of so many tribes that are out there. Yeah, definitely, I agree with you. There's definitely something with that. No doubt about that in my mind. I think that those totems are not just spiritual, they're records. People have to take that into account. It's not just markers. It's how they would, it was literally like a record of what they encountered back then. And I think ain't too much change to now, definitely. I think a lot of the entities out there are depicted in some way or other on totems, yes. That's a big yes. Anything else you want to know? This stream ain't going to be on very long because I ain't got too many people. Like I said, I'm just kind of trying to put a little bit out there. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Yes. Not a problem. I do believe there's something. And I'm going to be honest with the things I've encountered. One of the most crazy things that I encountered was, well, I've done a video on it. It's called The Mist Man or something like that. This was, I want to say, 3 or 4 years ago. I was not sound in the mind at that time, and I had to go temporarily for a couple of days into the hospital. They treated me good. The staff were excellent. I mean, they treated me like hell. They treated me good. Good food. I mean, that helped me a lot. Uh, they tried to put me on some medicine that never worked out. I never used that stuff again. I'm actually, I think, allergic to it, but I'll get to the point. The first night they had me relaxing, and I was trying to sleep in a one of their beds, which was surprisingly comfortable. Of course, when you're in a hospital bed, there's a guardrail that raises up so you don't fall out. And I'm trying to think, it was later I finally fell asleep, and I woke up to something it was literally something that was like humanoid, but it was mist, and it was trying to suck energy or some type of blue or green energy out from my eye. I want to say my eyes, maybe not that, but my nose and my mouth, definitely. And I couldn't move. At least I couldn't wake up. And this is what's so crazy. I had enough sense or presence of mind. I want to say the Lord helped me out with that because I don't think I could have done it on my own. I kicked the guardrail real hard to wake myself up. And of course, there was a tech that come in. It was like everything all right, and it snapped me out of it right there because he was like, "Hey, you okay?" And that, yeah, it was along them lines. Yeah, definitely sleep paralysis. I've had that happen more than once. And to be honest, of course, I ain't gonna tell him. Yeah, there was an entity that was trying to suck the life from me. You just don't tell a dude that. I told him no, I was having a bad dream, and that was it. But yeah, that's something I'm never gonna forget, man. That was bad. It was real bad. Another time, when it comes to sleep paralysis, this is another time I was having mental health issues. I was forcefully astral projected out of my own body. I can remember it clear as day. I was yanked out of my own body. And I could, of course, this is at night. And, of course, I'm sleeping, or trying to sleep. And I am literally being pulled out of my own body by something. And, of course, I could see everything outside, everything. Of course, it was all dark. Because of course it's nighttime. They want the patients to be able to sleep. And I was getting weaker. My body was getting weaker as I was being pulled further away in my body. I knew I was in some danger. And somehow I think it was, again, the grace of God. I was either pulled or I was able to pull myself back into my body. I've not had an experience like that since, but that's why I'm very much against the idea of anyone trying to astral project. That shit's dangerous and get you killed. I mean, I ain't trying to scare nobody, but that's just real talk. That's dangerous stuff. I think people need to leave that shit alone. There was a young man, yeah, no shit. There was a young man I would watch. I can't remember the dude's name, but several years ago, I was watching his channel, and there was a situation. He knew how to do that stuff, and it was addictive to him. He started doing it all the time. And one day he was doing this, and he came across a couple of entities that somehow deactivated his abilities. They're like, "Yeah, we'll help you if you want to do it again." And I think that was a wake up call for him. He was like, "Yeah, no, thanks." But I think it also kind of changed a lot of his views on things. I don't know if he got with the Lord or something happened. And that dude, it prompted him to really kind of do what I'm doing now. I cannot remember the guy's name, and believe me, that's one dude I'd love to get for an interview, to be blunt. I mean, you guys know what I do. That's one cat right there that I would have loved to get on, to have either Big Homie or D do an interview on right there, believe me. Or Sean, somebody. Hell, even myself, to be honest. That right there was something that was crazy, what that guy was talking about. This guy he would have all kinds of guests on his shows. Like I said, I haven't seen anything from him in a very long time. I don't even think he's doing this anymore. But I'm going to be honest, that right there, that fella knew what he was talking about. I wish I remembered his name. I mean, it's frustrating sometimes. I talk to so many people. I mean, you guys can see. I mean, I've talked to so many people doing this stuff. That in itself is something else. I'm telling you that now. I've had one time I was sleeping. I was listening to a podcast, and this man, he was a preacher, I think, and he was frustrated. This is back when that tsunami hit. I want to say it was in Japan. I think it was the Fukushima mess that happened. I want to say in 2011. I could be wrong on that. Maybe even sooner, but I want to say it was that. And anyway, I'll get to the point. This man was asking God why, there were a bunch of kids that were drowned, that were killed. And it may have been in the Philippines, I don't know, but it was a mess with a tsunami that killed a lot of people. And this man was asking, why did you take these kids? And God said there was already mine. And that hit me. I cried like a baby when I heard that. That was probably the one, I would say, angelic visitations I had. And let me tell you, do I want something like that to happen again? Not really, even if it was awe-inspiring. People ain't meant to really witness or experience things like that. I'm going to be honest. People ain't meant for that. It did a number on my mind, too, even now. Gives me the jitters just talking about it. Back then, I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now. I'm going to be honest. That was several years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I was living with my parents at the time. I just gotten out of that group home. No, I take that back. That was before I went back to the group home. And let me tell you, yeah, it's a head trick, let me tell you. That in itself was something that was crazy. Remember even further back, one of my first, I would call it, paranormal experiences. I mean, I've had them off and on in my life, but the one that really makes me think it was probably maybe the one UFO encounter that I've ever had. I was living right by my job at the time. This is maybe 08. It wasn't 09. It was no 08. 07 or 08. To the best of my memory. And Well, anyway, we were having a barbecue. We had a neighbor. Dude was cool as hell. I'm just gonna call him Nick. It wasn't his real name, but for privacy's sake, that's what I'm gonna call him. So anyway, Nick, he comes out, and this guy worked at Cisco, and he would how can I say this the best way? He'd bring food home, right? And he'd bust out all this stuff, and we'd barbecue. We didn't have to pay him anything. We'd give him beer, things like that, right? And so we're eating some good food, damn good food. We're all talking, just shooting the shit together. It's late at night, probably around this time. I didn't stay up too late back then. And anyway, we see this thing. It looked like a ball of fire streaking across the sky, but it wasn't fast. It was slow. It literally looked like a sphere, but it was on fire. And we all saw it. We all did. And Nick or another guy was saying, yeah, I'm going to be looking at the news tomorrow. Of course, you ain't going to see nothing like that in the news, but that was my one UFO experience. But it was crazy enough. I was kind of marked. Ow. Yeah, but anyway, I was kind of marked. Excuse me. Like I said, I was marked. Hang on here. That's food. Anyway, I was marked. I think my mom, when she was younger, in her younger years, she, my father and my mom divorced. It was a bad divorce. And my mom was having a crisis of faith, and she lapsed into witchcraft for a short period of time. Well, maybe not so short. I'm going to say maybe a little over 10 years. I don't know what. It might be, but I don't think so. Like I said, I can't remember, but I don't think that was his name. But anyway, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff, it passed to me. She saw a lot of stuff. I know she had the sight. She definitely had that. And unfortunately, after she passed away, I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, that's when a lot of my own experiences started happening. Now, they haven't as recent. I'll be honest, I still have them sometimes, but not near as much as I used to. The place I was living at in Houston for about 2 years was very haunted. It was a gateway. I lived number one by an old burial ground. I'm not sure. I want to say it was a Civil War burial ground, but I could be wrong on that. But it was not even maybe a couple of blocks away from where I live, for one. Number two, a lot of people died. You had a lot of transients. Though I lived in a rooming house, so I mean, rent was cheap, and it was easy enough, right? So I had a lot of people. A couple of people I knew died. One was a lady that I kind of grew close to. And I saw her being taken out in a freaking pizza bag. She drank herself to death. So that fucked with my head. I'm telling you that now. But things like that, the place was haunted. I'm trying to tell you. There was also a railroad, which was very close. It was literally by a train track. So there was all kinds of stuff that went down there. There was another poor girl. She addict, overdosed, died. I didn't know her very well, but she was young girl. She moved in, croaked. I mean, like I said, I'm glad I didn't find that, but I saw enough mess, and let me tell you, I had a couple of experiences there, and I'm glad I got the hell out of there because it was starting to take a toll on me. I had to leave. It was just that bad. It was affecting my dreams. It was affecting even my waking hours, man. It was just bad. And believe me, I don't miss that place. I miss the convenience. But as for where I was at, now I'll be honest with you, if I had to move back in there, let's say I was in Houston and I was going to end up on the streets, yeah, I wouldn't heartbeat because, being homeless and hungry don't help nobody. But yeah, that was a place I ain't going to miss too much. I made a couple of friendships there, especially with the landlord. He was a good guy. But too much paranormal shit was there. I have never lived in a place as haunted as that. I don't care to again. This place here doesn't have a lot of activity. It has some, but very little. The only reason for that is because this place is old. This place has been here for years. but nothing too serious. I seem to be a magnet for a lot of this stuff. That's how it is. So, have you had any experiences recently where you live? Oh, very much so. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. They love because they feed off that stuff. And of course, I mean that's self-explanatory. They love to feed off energy like that. Hmm. I'm good, Snyder. I ain't gonna be on here much longer. I'm tired, but want to see how well we're talking about anything and everything. I was talking about some of my past experiences. That's about it. It was at anything and everything. I was talking about some sleep paralysis stuff I had happen to me, UFO I saw, a supernatural encounter with something angelic. I didn't see it, but I felt it. That's about it. Nothing more, nothing less. Hey, we got three. Let's see what we got. Hang on. Who we got on here? Bear with me. I gotta use my phone for this crap. Live chat three. Dawn. Okay. Cool. But anyway, that's what I was talking about. Anyone else had any recent paranormal encounters? That's what I want to know about. I could talk about this stuff all day, but I come here for interaction. So I want to see what you guys had. Or you can say, oh, y'all can sit there watching me. Yeah, I've had that. One of the most creepy experiences I ever had was in that damn rooming house I told you guys about. I used to, well, well, obviously for obvious reasons, especially. Hey, what's going on, DW? I'm good, bro. I was just telling some folks about some paranormal stuff that I had, but I'm good, bro. I'm doing real good. Matter of fact, thanks for earlier. I appreciate you, but I'm doing good. Got some smokes. I had a good smoke. Eating some beef jerky. That's about it, dude. It's all good, bro. I ain't worried about all that. I trust you. We've been working. We've been working long enough. I know you. But no, man. I was telling some folks about the sleep paralysis that I had and all that stuff. That's about it. Other than that, I was asking folks about their encounters. I'm pretty sure people get tired of hearing me blather on and on over the same crap. So you're talking about shadows, huh? Okay, I'll go ahead and tell you a story. This is something that happened to me. I even did a video on it a while back, but I'll go ahead and get to the point. I was trying to sleep. This is like 2 or 3 years ago, right? So I was trying to sleep, and I used to, well, for obvious reasons, I wear a cap all the time to protect my head from the sun and the elements. Obvious reasons. So I have this hat hung up, right? Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you a lot. Like I said, I'm going to be on here for another half hour. I'm exhausted. I need to get some sleep soon. But what I was saying is, I used to hang my hat in my backpack. I still have both of them, by the way. Well, not the hat, but the backpack. Use it for my laptop. And I have them hung up, right? And I'm trying to sleep, and I see this shadow. I mean, you think it would be a trick of the light. No. I saw a very tall shadow. It was actually an African-American man. I think it was someone that had died where I was living. I wouldn't be surprised, right? He was an older dude. It was a man of shadow. Like I said, he was literally taking the spot of where my hat and my backpack were. And it was not just that. It was a man. And, of course, I didn't worry about it. I could sense they weren't evil. They were just curious. I was like, okay, nice to meet you. I'm going back to bed. That's the one encounter I have with the Shadow Man. There's some I would rather not have happen again, but it was not the worst encounter that I've ever had, that's for sure. I've had all kinds of crap happen. One of the more earlier experiences I had was when we had just, this was right after my parents divorced. My you guys already know at that time, me and my father were not on the best terms. Well, I was still very young, and he got visitation of me and my brother, of course, so he was not doing too horrible. But again, he wasn't too thrilled about my mom leaving him, and he was being a stalking jackass at that time. But there's a reason I'm saying all this. There was a lot of emotionally charged stuff in the air. Hang on here real quick. Oh, that's from D. Hey, what's going on, brother? I was going to say, hop on if you want, man. We got DW here. We got me here. On my channel, I'm doing a live show. Yeah, very much so. Well, just letting you know. Not a problem, man. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Hang on, guys. Go ahead and take care of something real quick. I'm going to go ahead and invite somebody here. Copy. Okay, hang on. Come on, you piece of crap. Bear with me. This laptop's slow as hell. There we go. Blam and blam. There we go. There we go. Now hopefully he'll hop on. But anyway. Yes, in my county, not that I know of, but I do know in this area where I live near the border. Oh yeah, you have a shitload of them. There's a dude that comes on sometime on Sean's show. Doesn't live too far where I'm at, and far. He's talking about all kinds of crazy crap that dude's saying. I think Bigfoot, Dogman. Yeah, have I seen anything? No. Do I have any want to? No. I've seen enough crap. I ain't needing help. Bear with me. I haven't eaten in over 8 hours, so I'm hungry. But as far as I know, me personally ain't had no Dogman sightings in here. But there are quite a few in this area. I do know that. It is what it is. I'm hungry. Deal with it. Okay, I'll go ahead and email it to him. Hang on, guys. Ain't trying to ignore nobody. I'm just doing what I need to do here. Hang on. I know I have the social graces of a goat, but that's just how it is. Oh. Come on, you piece of crud. Yeah, patience is about as much as I have hair. I ain't got none. Okay, hang on here. There we go. We got him. Link. There we go. There we go. Hey, Mercy, Metcalf. How y'all doing? Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm associated with Dark Waters in Entertainment. I'm the guy who gives people guests as best I can. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. I mainly do stories and fiction of my own. Matter of fact, I wanted to tell you guys about that. If y'all get a chance, check out one. My personal favorite series, ironically, has nothing to do with werewolves or Dogman or anything like that. It is called Unforgiven. That's one of my favorite series. It was just fun for me to do. It's about a young man that is caught in a real mess. His family was killed by vampires. Cool, you got it. Awesome. Anyway, this young man's family is killed by vampires, and there's a detective that was kind of on the case, and understandably, the scene messed him up. It's a very... Hang on, there we go. Hang on, let me go ahead and get D in here. Hang on. There we go. Hey, what's going on, D?
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, not much, man. Just chewing the fat a little bit.
I know. I got the old headphones so I can hear you properly.
I'm good.
I got it. Cooperate. There we go. All right. Outstanding. I am going to jump on the YouTube side. I'll set up a show for later on and see if we can get the people waiting to jump over here.
All good. Be right back. There we go.
Who am I talking to? Where's the man at?
Right here.
What's up, Sheldon and Don? Cowie Snyder.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get some food.
Metcalf.
And eating hardly all day.
Are you really eating a sandwich on stream, bro? That's crazy. You're just a savage over here. We can be savages. All right, I can kind of,
No,
but
anyway.
I got a story for you.
That's it.
Since this is the land of the savages. I was talking to Big Homie the other night, and somehow, we get down through there. We talk about everything. Somehow we got on fights. And I don't know what possessed me to do, but I told him about this fight. It was the most righteous ass whooping I ever took. But I told him a story. That wasn't the most righteous ass whooping I've ever took.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to hear that one?
I would love to. Let's hear it.
All right. So I'm can you hear me all right? Is everything working good? All right. So anyways, I'm 24, 25 maybe. The kid was a baby. Scrappy Doo. She's 16 now. She was like, I want to say 2, if even. She was still in diapers for sure.
Yeah.
But we got a babysitter. One of my stepdaughter's friends, like my stepdaughter were coming over to babysit, and the ex-wife wanted me to go out, and something I never did. Never really went to bars or anything like that. I'm a homebody. I'm reclusive.
Very much so.
So we ended up going to this place, and I was working on overnights at the time for the Dollar General Distribution Center, and I was wearing one of her shirts. She was a big old girl. I like big corn-fed country girls, and I was wearing one of her night shirts, which was way too big on me at the time. I was 205, was throwing freight. You know what I mean? I was chiseled from stone.
I know what you mean.
And again, I'm not used to going out, so I just threw on some pants, forgot my belt. So we get to this place. We live in the country at the time. This place was like one of those country honky tonk /
Been there.
rap bar. Yeah, it was like redneck / rap. All the like the real gangsters and stuff would come out there. You know what I'm saying? And all the real cowboys would. So it was. I called it the bar fight waiting to happen. Was what I named it. But it was like Timbuktu or something. So we get out there, and I'm riding with one of her friend's husbands, and she rode with her friend. They went a little bit ahead of us, so they got in first. We get up to the door, and the guy literally like puts his hands up, stops me, and he's like, he's like, "Oh, you can't come in. You're out of dress code." And I'm like, "Oh, it's no big deal." And as he says that, I'm thinking like, yeah, I am out of dress code. Like I probably look like I was thugged out. I'm kind of sagging because I don't have a belt on. And I've got this long tee on, so. But I mean, this guy was like, he was all about it. And I was like, no, it's no big deal, bro. Like, I live 2 miles away. I'll just run to the house and throw on something different. And he was like, you're not listening. I said you can't come in. I'm like, no, I'm listening because I'm not in accordance with your dress code policy. That I understand that. And he was mouthing something else, and that's when the wife and her friend come out, and I guess they probably slammed a couple of shots or whatever. So they come out all gassed up, like, yeah, he makes more money in a week than you make in blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, that's right, I do. So we leave, and I'm mad about it, bro. Like he gave me the, you know what I mean? He gave me like the no blacks allowed treatment. Straight up. And I've never really experienced that in Oklahoma, it being the greatest state in the union. So the ex-wife and her friend, they go to a bar called Chevy's, and me and this dude's name is Punchy. I'm sure that's not his Christian name, but
I'd like to hope not.
Yeah, right. But me and Punchy stopped by their house because it was on the way, and he had some Crown. And bro, we slammed, like, he was gassing me up too. and we slammed that whole bottle of Crown like
Which
between
we
the two. It was
could.
a small bottle. But we get to that bar. We would get to Chevy's where the girls were, and I'm not saying anything. I'm at this point in time, I'm just like nursing Jack and Coke or something like that. And we get home around 1. The wife goes immediately to sleep, and the kids asleep. So I just put on my Wranglers, my steel toe boots, my the belt buckle I was given when I worked at the livestock auction. You know what I mean? And I went back out there looking for. I was going to fight that man.
Oh, of course.
Like,
No
yeah,
blame.
of course. So I'll park at the very end of the parking lot, which it was attached to this car lot. So it was a vast parking lot. And I walk up right. I made sure I went like right before last call. You know what I mean? I'm polished, creases in the pants, sharp as a tack. But I'm a country boy. I was dressed like who I am. And I went up and like, am I in the proper dress code now? He's like, I told you before now it's felonious trespassing. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Why don't you follow me out to the car to make sure I get, leave properly? So he follows me out there and he's pushing me, right? He's pushing me and pushing me. And I was like, listen, Jack, if you push me again, I'm gonna be forced to push you back. And then he shoves my shoulder real hard. The guy's like 5 foot nothing, bro. I'm 6 feet. Like he hits me, he shoves me real hard. And I remember I cocked fist to turn around and hit him with the right cross. And I thought he spit in my face at first, but he maced me. And I've never been maced before or afterwards, but he hit me with the mace. No, it's not. But the next part was he grabs me around the waist. Now I was in the takedown club from 9th grade to 19. You know what I mean? American wrestling, went to take twice. So he grabs me around the waist, drop him right there, boom. And I'll stand back up because I hear him coming across the parking lot, and I know I'm gonna receive that righteous ass whooping. It's gonna be they're gonna put the boots in me. And another one of these rednecks like, just take him down, and I hear him the crunch as he's running across the parking lot, and I timed it beautifully, bro. Like I gator rolled him as soon as he hit me, and I like scrambled onto that one, and I ate him alive. They were stomping me, kicking me in the head, the face, and all that kind of stuff. I laughed, spit blood at him. So, and I've never been in any trouble at this point. Never been in trouble before. And I sat before the most tenured judge in the county. His name's Judge Tate. Friend to this day. He was like, Mr. Doss, you've never been in my court before, have you? And I'm like, no, sir. And he looked at the paperwork. He's like, well, why are you here now? I was like, well, I work 60 hours a week. I never really go out. And the one time I went out with my wife, like I felt like I was treated like, no colors allowed. And I got mad and drunk and wanted to go back and fight the guy who made me feel that way. It was completely wrong. And I apologize to the court for wasting your time. And he looked at me and he looked at the paperwork again. He looked back up at me and he looked at the arresting deputy who I went to school with. He was a friend of mine as well. And he said, I've never done this in the 20 plus years that I've sat in this court, but case dismissed, stay out of trouble.
Good.
So that was the most righteous ass whooping I took. Like my wife was picking gravel out of my forehead and my elbows and my back for like 2 days.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was laughing. She was like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "That was awesome."
I hear you.
I would have got along just fine fighting the Vikings. You know what I mean? Like or something like that.
I totally understand. Now, I had a recent, not too recent, but recent enough. I was actually doing what I'm doing now. I was at Burger King, which was right by my house at the time, the rooming house in Houston, and I was just trying to do what I'm doing right now. The Wi-Fi was free, and I didn't have to pay nothing for it. And they had cheap food, so easy enough. So I'm trying to eat, and this is an older black dude. Unfortunately, he was just. I don't know what his thing was. I think he was trying to panhandle or something. And the staff was trying to get him out. And he was just making he was yelling at everybody. And
was he playing guitar or something? Or was he just like asking for money?
I'm not really sure what the deal was. But either way, they wanted him out.
Didn't matter what he was doing or what. They wanted
him gone. I think. Well, the thing is, where I was living at the time, I lived right. Thing is, I was literally between two freeways, and so you had a lot of transients that would come through. So I'm not sure if he was one of them or not, But either way, there was a lot of strays where I lived. So, I mean, there was a chance you'd be attacked by dogs, packs of them. So,
Packs,
it was
packs of
crazy where I was
dogs.
living. I'm just saying, it was nuts. And where I was at this place, right? And so I have my backpack, I have a laptop just like this, and I'm trying to do what I'm doing. And this dude just he wouldn't shut up. I was like, look, man, I'm trying to do my work. I mean, can you mind toning it down? I'm like, okay. And he's like, he looks at me, and then he starts calling me some greasy Mexican. Yeah, I don't think I'm a greasy Mexican, good sir. And I'm serious. He called me
Wow.
that. He called me a freaking, I mean, there's a very Hispanic area that I lived in. I mean, it was like literally like
Yeah.
Mexico. I mean, that's just how it is. But I was like, what the fuck? And I finally got a
How
hammer,
rude, sir.
that hammer in my hand. I told him, look, you're about to be in a situation where you ain't going to walk away. He looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm talking like I'm talking to you because I was fed up. And the guy looks at me like I'm crazy. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and leave now.
Right?
It's crazy. I haven't, ever since, I'll be honest, since I moved down here, I haven't had to deal with any of that crap. I'm glad for it too. It's
Amen.
very peaceful. Yeah, it's very, oh.
And that's, bro, like I used to study the art of war and combat. And like, in all seriousness, you'll think I'm joking when I say this, but my main goal as a man, as a young man, mind you, late teens, early 20s, the thing I had to look forward to is because I bounced at gentlemen's clubs and stuff like that, was to die in glorious combat.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, for real, bro. Like, I thought that even Christians had their own version of Valhalla. Like, where did Joshua go?
Very much
you know
so.
I mean? But yeah, I was an idiot. Like, now I study the art of peace and humility. Cowie Snyder. The only martial arts I took was karate for like 3 years. And but no, American freestyle and a little bit of Roman Greco wrestling one summer, but the Roman Greco wasn't for me. It's like it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, honestly, I know a little bit of martial arts. Mainly just I've been in so many fights that.
Yeah, right.
That's it. I've just been in so many freaking, mainly in school. I was different. I was picked on, and I just.
Did you ever box?
Man, I could probably.
Did you ever take boxing or?
No, I know how to do similar things like that, but my coordination's so bad. I probably need to sit my fat ass in something like that. But honestly,
bro, you'd love it. It is the sweet science. Like my dad boxed in the Army, and sort of my uncle, one of my mom's brothers. And when I go to Arkansas after I got a little bit older, I would go and box with my cousins, like because they went to a gym like every weekend. And my dad found out about it. He was like, "Boy, I didn't know you like boxing." I'm like, "I'll watch it with you all the time. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, I'll show you some stuff." And he took me to a gym that we have here, and yeah, it is definitely the sweet science.
Cool.
You wouldn't think that there would be like intellectualism behind boxing. But,
I've studied enough of it to know that my uncle, my cousin's father he taught me a little bit. He was into silver. The thing is, this man was an okay guy, but he could be a brute. He was a big man, almost not quite as big as you, but close enough. And he knew silver gloves. And honestly, the man just had a real vicious mindset. And
you said he was in silver gloves?
Silver or golden, I can't remember, but he was.
It's probably golden gloves.
Good. He was just very good.
And a lot of those golden glove boxers, bro, a lot of them were in the Army, and they're just made of different stuff, especially back then. Like when we were younger, they just made a different stuff, bro.
Very much so.
They're mean. Like they had a meanness to them. Even if they're nice to you, nice to family and whatnot. Like you didn't want to. You definitely did not want to make them mad.
My grandfather,
bro. I was just saying. As a matter of fact, like everybody's talking about martial arts. A few people talking about martial arts. I did take judo too. I took judo around the same time I was taking karate because the karate instructor was also had some sort of belt in judo. I like judo better than I like karate. But one thing I was going to do with my other channel that I like just kind of leave floating in the wind is I am a big fight fan. So
yeah, of course.
I was going to go in there and just talk about some. I don't keep up with it as much as I they used to.
Yeah,
But just
I
like
agree.
the classic fights and whatnot.
Honestly, I love.
GW showed me Tyson and I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. No.
Even
Go
now,
ahead. I'm your guest.
all right, fair
You
enough.
know,
Even now, I like to watch like every now and then. I like to watch boxing. I like to watch UFC. I mean, things like that. I mean, I mean,
for sure.
they're a little of everything. I mean, I still enjoy that.
I mean, I fell out of UFC like a little while ago. I was watching during the Rampage, Jackson, Forrest Griffin, Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
Who's that dude who married the porn star over in the West Coast?
Hell, you'd ask me that. I know who you're talking about.
I'll see his big Frankenstein monster face, but like, anyways, Minotauro Nogueira, Little Nog, when those guys were going hard in the paint, and right around the time that what's his name? I'm drawing blanks on names that I normally
There
know.
was one dude that I didn't think was going to make it, but he did. He surprised the hell out of me. Was Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Everybody had Brock Lesnar. I won so much money off that second fight, like because he was mad about it, bro. Because he got handled.
Understandably, man, Frank Mir was talking all kinds of shit to the dude. He was like, "Oh hell no, I'm going to paint you all over this damn mat."
Thank you, Cowie. Cowie Snyder. Yes, Tito Ortiz is what I was trying to think of.
Okay, yeah.
But bro, his hands are so. The dude is. He's the upright walking gorilla.
Okay, hang on, big. Okay, man, hang on. Let me go ahead and get you the. Hang on, I'm gonna drop the invite right here. Hang on. I'm just gonna drop in chat, big man. Hang on. Okay, gotcha. Boom. Up on in, man. Okay, hang on. I'll email too. Hang on. Gotcha. I got you. Hang on. Let me go ahead and come in here real quick and sign in and do all that. Hang on. Hang on. I'm going to go ahead and get you. 1 second. Hang on. Let me make sure I got this right. Invite. Copy. Hang on. I am Dark Waters. Hang on. Ah, Lord. Hang on. Link. There we go. That should work. Boom. Hang on. Come on. Thank you. There we go. All right. Just gave it to him. Hopefully he'll hop on pretty quick. But yeah, Tito Ortiz was something that was crazy. Okay. I thought he wanted to come on. And I wanted him to come on too. Okay. I got his email. Okay. Add the stream. Hey, what's going on, man?
Well, where D went?
I was wondering that myself. It's like he went poof. I'm going to go ahead and email him the link again to see if he can come on back. Let's see what's going on with that. Hang on. Hang on. Let me go ahead and drop this. Oklahoma. There we go. Invite. What's going on with him? Yeah, right before you come in, he bounced right off. Well, what the hell going on with all that? What's been going on, man?
Nothing. I was just sitting up. I know he wanted to do a show. I was trying to hop in with you, then go over there with him.
That's what I was figuring. Well, I go ahead and I sent him the invite.
He said the dog knocked the internet box over. He coming back.
Bad doggy.
You know what y'all was talking about? MMA? Tito Ortiz and MMA?
Yeah, we're talking about different things. We started talking about fighting and went to boxing and then MMA. Yeah.
Man, there was a guy down here. They called him the Rhino. This dude was from this gym uptown, bro. And I remember he fought Mike Tyson.
Okay.
And he fought Mike Tyson. I think he fought him down here. And bro, Mike Tyson knocked this dude smooth out. It was ridiculous. You can look up the fight. I think they called him the Rhino, but he was from uptown New Orleans. He was on his boxing gym was on Ferret Street.
Okay.
And I remember Mike Tyson knocked him smooth the hell out, bro. But he was knocking out everybody around here.
I'm pretty sure he still could hurt somebody, even as old as he is.
Me and D was talking about that earlier, bro. You remember Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones just recently, right?
Yeah.
And like if you look at that post interview when they were done, Roy was standing there. You could tell Roy was hurt, man. Like he was just bobbing back and forth. And, Mike, he was crazy. Mike was like, "I love this. We got to do this again, Roy. Roy, we got to fight again, Roy." And Roy's like, "I don't know about that."
Yeah, no shit, man. It's like, yeah, I have been hearing that ever since he got certain things happen to him. Mike Tyson's been having some health issues, though. Not often, but sometimes.
Well, you know why?
I'm listening.
He went and took that little that experiment. That's why.
I know. I'm just trying to keep things clean for obvious reasons.
Yeah, so that's why. And that's a terrible thing because Mike Tyson, even though as crazy as he was, as controversial as he was, he's a titan, man. Or is. He's a titan and when it comes to boxing and fighting and everything else. That's the crazy part. Yeah. What else been going on with you, man?
I've been doing good, man. This entire week, we are, kind of had a rough start this week, but things are much. Hang on, let me get D inside here. Hey, welcome back, man.
I got on the wrong doggone headphones. Sucks getting old.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I can hear y'all. I put on the wrong headphones.
All right, D, we got a question for you. If you had to fight Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, or Floyd Mayweather for $45 million, who would you get in the ring with?
Dadgum. Floyd.
Why Floyd?
Because I don't think he's not that big, so he doesn't have that knockout power. He's not going to do permanent, irreparable damage. Roy Jones Jr., I think that he would. He'd break something. He'd break a nose or something like that. There'd be no way in holy hell that I would ever get inside of the same restaurant to stand in line with Mike Tyson, let alone get in the ring with him.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's crazy.
He was hurt, bro. He was putting permanent damage on seasoned boxers when he was like 20 years old.
No,
he's a kid fighting grown men and knocking them smooth out like 90 going north.
That's crazy, man. I'll tell you someone who he's interesting to watch. He was in the Tough Man fights. Butterbean.
Butterbean was an enigma, bro.
I know.
Like, because I thought he was just knocking out bums, but then I seen this video where he fought what's his name? He was a former heavyweight champion.
He held his own.
Slept him, bro. Put him right to sleep like everybody else. Did you know he was British?
I didn't know Butterbean was British.
I thought it was from here in the States.
Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure because I saw him recently with doing a thing with Mike Tyson, but he spoke with a very thick Cockney accent.
Huh.
And he wore like the red, white, and blue trunks too. So
yeah, but no, I remember seeing him when I was younger, and it's like I'm like, what the hell, man? This man is like literally Ambien on 2 feet.
I bet you wouldn't tell him that to his face.
But bro, like in one hit, you go to sleep. That's why I said that.
He was my hero though, bro. Because like even no matter how hard I worked out, I always had like a belly. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about cardio, but like I would work out super duper hard, and I'd always have that gut. Mm-hmm. And here's this dude looked like he just came back from an all-you-can-eat buffet, knocking people out like they're nothing.
Well, he was picked on. The thing is, he was picked on a lot as a kid because he was fat, and he focused all that rage and all that strength he naturally had into the fight.
And bro, that is why I am adamantly against that anti-bully garbage. What about you guys? The same question. Like, who out of those three, who would y'all fight and why for 44 mil?
I would negotiate down to $10 million for me not to fight anybody and for me to pick somebody else to fight one of them.
For you to put in a proxy?
Put a proxy, yeah. My cut would be $10 million. I get a
well, I'd be the proxy if you cut that like 60-40.
I ain't stepping that ring now.
All I need is $10 million. You can have all the rest of that. Go take that boat with me. I ain't taking none of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd definitely take a whooping for 44 million. Yeah, not for Mike Tyson though.
For Mike Tyson,
No.
you may never be the same again, bro. Hell no.
Yeah, he'd put me in a wheelchair, bro. There's no doubt in my mind. How much prep time? That's what I was wanting to ask. How much prep time would I have?
I don't know. You can have much prep time as you want. It ain't gonna matter with Mike Tyson.
No.
Well, yeah. I mean, the man's 50. I've seen that video. He's 55 years old. He's still built like he's 30.
I mean, he's only 55. I thought he was a little older than that. My bad.
No, sir. He's 55. Let me see. I'm on Wikipedia right now. I'll double check. But 98.9% sure that man is only 55 years old, bro. And like seeing him move around in the ring with your boy, like it was at the very beginning of it. You know, you could tell they're just kind of going through some motions, throwing some rabbit punches, not really trying to connect to hurt one another. But there was a turn in the fight where it just seemed like they both hit each other a little bit too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Roy Jones tried that, that tricky shit like he used to do back in the day where, spinning the arm around and throwing the jab out. And he did that, and Mike Tyson, he caught him with a good, solid right cross right there. Boom. I'm surprised he didn't put him to sleep. I'm sincerely surprised. No, you're right. He's 56. He turned 56 in June.
Man, some men you don't need to be fighting, bro.
No shit.
That's just my opinion. Some men you don't need to fight. Some men you need to shoot at. Some men you just don't need to fight, bro.
Yeah, so some people just, yeah. If Mike Tyson came to my doorstep saying, "Hey, this, and this, or this, and this happened," and I heard about it, and I think you're responsible, I'll say, "You know what, sir? You're absolutely right. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I take full responsibility, and I'd like to apologize profusely. Please don't hurt me."
And you know what? Nobody would feel bad about. Nobody would look at you differently for doing that,
bro. I would not feel soft. I would not feel like I'm being a coward. That's called self-preservation.
Yes,
sir. There was a commercial about road rage. It was hilarious. It had this dude saying, "Get out of the car, I'm going to beat your ass when Evander Holyfield gets out."
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yes.
It looked like it was in LA somewhere. Yeah.
No, hell no.
Bro, I thought that was real at first because it was kind of like, it was almost like it was low quality or something.
It was based on something that happened to Evander Holyfield when he was younger.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear the story of how Mike Tyson gave away I don't think it was a Lamborghini. What was it? What did he always drove the same type of vehicle. A Rolls. He gave away one of his Rolls because he didn't like the way it drove, or like he hit something and it was kind of rocking a little bit. So he was arguing with his girlfriend at the time. So he just pulled over and gave it to this dude who worked at like a restaurant or something. And, that was this big story about how, and maybe it was on the news, how he's this big charitable person. Well, he was telling what really happened. He said later on, like 3 or 4 weeks away from that, I guess his financial advisor was saying, "Hey, you really shouldn't have gave away that car because blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of money." And he's like, "All right, I'll go get it back." and he went to this car. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to need that car back that I gave you." And he's like, "Really, champ?" And then like Mike Tyson proceeded to just punk him straight out of the car. And the dude ended up calling the police on him and suing him for something. I think he may have hit him or something too, because, he's Mike Tyson and you said something that he didn't like to hear. A young Mike Tyson is somebody I wouldn't want to party with. He was always going to these clubs and hanging out with Tupac and stuff,
bro.
That's when it would be time to leave, bro.
Like Mike came to the party. All right, we leaving, Charlie. We gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good to see y'all.
Did you hear about years ago? The two guys, they thought they could. Of course, you hear all kinds of memes and jokes about Chuck Norris, but this was back when he was doing that series Walker. He was on the set or just right off the set, getting something to eat or something, and two guys said, "Hey, man, we're gonna rob you." And then he's like, "You guys know who I am, right? Are you serious?" And sure enough, they tried, and they got the crap beat out of them. They're like nursing compound fractures, and these cops come up and cops just laughing at them. They were like, "What the fuck, man?" And they were like, "We thought this stuff was fake."
Yeah, well, they learned quick, fast, in a hurry.
Oh yeah, I mean,
people are so stupid.
No joke.
Now you want to know?
What?
This dude got hands, bro. So D, you remember the movie that Michael Jai played in, where he was doing the street fighting, Blood and Bone, right?
Good movie.
Blood and Bone.
I remember
Yes.
at Blood and Bone, at the end of Blood and Bone, when he fought the dude at like the rich guy's house, and then he was fighting the dude with the sword, right?
Yes.
Whatever that actor's name is, I cannot remember that dude's name.
Who is that actor? That dude's a badass, bro.
Bro, he hung out with us in the foundation room.
No
night.
kidding. That dude.
That dude.
Last.
And I remember he was bro. This is a funny story. So I knew he was an actor, and I might have told you the story before.
No, not this
in the
one.
foundation room. You had to reserve areas. This is in the House of Blues before they made it open, like just all open. You had like the stage area, you had the prayer room area, you had like this little bench area. So they had 3 private areas. And if you remember, you reserved the areas. So I reserved the stage area for that night. And when I come in, homeboys on the stage and they're like, yo, we had to get the stage away. I'm like, nah, I ain't feeling that. Like, why you giving it? And it's got these curtains there. You can't really see who behind the curtains. So I'm over in this little corner area, cramped up, like aggravated because there's all these people. And I'm like, look, I'm about to go see who up in here because I need to see who got my spot. So I go over there and it's homeboy, and he's like doing a book signing. And I'm like, yo, man, they gave you my area, man. This was supposed to be a party night for me, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, look, let me sign a book for you and let me sign an autograph. I said, nigga, I don't want no autograph. I want my area. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, nah, I'm not going to be here long. So the people in the prayer room leave, which is the back room, and we go into the prayer room. So I'm like, after that, I forgot about it, right? He ends up coming in there. So when he comes in, it's 20 of us in there. And so he comes in, and I'm like, nah, dog, we not about to leave out of here because you won't come in here. I'm just telling you now. We're not about to leave. This is when Sirius satellite radio had first came out, bro, and it was like the dopest thing because you had Sirius satellite radio in there.
Well, hold on. Let me hit pause real. Let me time out because I do have like 30% hearing loss in one ear. This was the bad guy at the end of Blood and Bone with the sword that you said this to.
Black guy that was fighting Michael Jai. Him. What? I don't know his name. What's his name?
Is it Bob Sapp?
I know who you're talking about.
Bro, hell no, it wasn't Bob Sapp. It was the skinny dude.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, like, no, Bob Sapp was in there.
I want to talk to Bob Sapp. Like, are you crazy?
That'd be madness.
I was Bob Sapp like that, man. Are you out your mind?
He's dry handling Bob Sapp.
Man,
hey, Bob. Hey, Bobby.
No. Man,
why don't you
Bob,
sit your ass
like
down somewhere, Bob?
Talking reckless to Goliath, dude. Hell no.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Man. Let's see.
But anyway, bro, he comes in, just type in Blood and Bone final scene, and you're going to see. It was the dude that he went to the dude's house and they was talking about. Yeah.
Can I present this? Like, if we play a few seconds and talk over it, it's not going to hit you for it.
Go for it.
I don't know how that works.
Me neither.
Yeah, like if we just, talk over it and we show a few seconds, it'd be all right. But I did find the clip it.
But bro, this dude got fast hands, like for real, for real. So we in there, and like he just sit down in the corner, and he's like fascinated. I guess as an actor, he's around like just real, authentic, like so he's like just fascinated because we going around the room talking reckless, talking crazy, talking about each other, and
he's soaking it in, bro. He's a thespian, you know what I mean? He knows he's
soaking the whole thing in. And in walks my partner Haywood, and Haywood's the guy that I told y'all that got murked, right? So in walks Haywood, and so Wood come in. And he looking for a seat. So he started looking around.
Is this it?
The dude that he fight after this. The dude that Michael Jai fights right after this.
Yeah, the black dude with the beard.
If you fast forward a little bit, it's the guy that he fights after that. Bro, so Wood come in there, and when Wood talk like this, he'd be like, yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out who's sitting in my seat, baby. He sound like DMX. He literally sound just like DMX. He look at me, he's like, Black, you invite me to come into this party. There ain't nowhere for me to sit. Where am I supposed to sit? I said, well, homie not supposed to be in here anyway. He'll get up and you can sit there. So he turn around, you in my seat. And the dude's like, well, man, I'm just hanging out, He's like, nah, what I'm trying to say to you, you ain't understanding. You're in my seat.
Oh,
I'm like,
this dude, I got you.
To show his face, I'm telling you, he tall.
Yeah. This was bro. So this all happened. This is Muddy Waters from Cadillac Records. This dude's a badass actor.
All right, well, that's the dude. But anyway,
y'all when you're handling Muddy Waters.
So, bro, but we drinking, we acting a fool. So, Haywood just talking reckless, like, come on, man, you got to get up out of my seat. and then Haywood old lady come in. And so now he's like, all right, now you really got to get him old lady, need somewhere to sit. Both of us going to have to stand. So they end up standing up. She ends up sitting down. And somehow we get into talking about Bruce Lee's trick where that dude right there, that's him.
Yeah, this
right
scene's intense.
That dude right there. Bro, we get into Bruce Lee's talking about how, you could touch, Bruce Lee had this thing where he would touch you with his 2 fingers on your forehead and you couldn't block it, right? And so we messing around, and I'm like, hey, well, man, I could touch you with my 2 fingers. You won't be able to block it. He's like, Black, you can't touch me with 2 nothing on your body. I hit you. He's like, I'll light you up, boy. I hit you everywhere. And stuff under your feet. You keep playing with me like that, boy. So he's just going off, right? And so we just standing up, talking, going back and forth. Homeboy standing there. He's like, well, I could do that. And everybody get quiet and look. He's like, what? I could do that. And he was like, nigga, if you could touch me with your 2 fingers, nigga, I'm going to buy you a drink. And so they square. I mean, Hay was a straight up semi-pro kickboxer. The dude could really kickbox, right? And so they square off, and homeboy go to touch with his 2 fingers. His fingers get right close to Haywood's forehead, and he slap his fingers. And they go again. Pop. And I was like, this dude is fast, bro. When I say he was fast, I mean he was super fast. So when blocked, he moved. When Haywood blocked it, it wasn't like he just lifted his hand up. He had to shift his head out the way from getting touched and then block it. And I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't fight this man up in here talking crazy. This nigga hands fast as they come.
Oh shit. Fatality.
I know, right?
I haven't watched this in so long, bro. Michael J. White's the real badass. Like Michael J. White, that's who I wouldn't want to fight.
That's the coolest dude on the planet, bro. We hung out with him.
He seems super laid back, man. Like, and he knows all that.
Like a regular dude, bro. Like for real, a regular dude. Like the first time we hung out, we went to this club at the top of the World Trade Center here in New Orleans, and we sitting in VIP section, and he called me funny man because he was like, man, you real funny. I want you to act like you should do acting. I'm like, bro, I'm not no actor, bro. You know what I mean? But I always be cracking jokes. He's like, I'm gonna show you something funny, bro. We sitting there in VIP. He takes off his shoe, dog, throws his shoe onto the dance floor, like stands up, walks to the little VIP ribbon, throws his shoe on the dance floor. The broad brings his shoe back, and I said, Mike, I can't mess with you, bro. And he was like, I'll do it again, and another bro to bring my shoe back again. I said, bro, this is crazy, bro. I can't mess with you. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. That was one hell of a night hanging out with him, bro. We went from there to the hood. We went all over the place with Mike. Mike is a real dude. Like a real regular guy.
And that's awesome. Man. Like, you see him in he's soft spoken when you see him in interviews. Like I remember the first time I saw him was in that movie Spawn, which growing up on comic books, I won't even touch that. But like for real, like you see him, he's got this real gruff voice, and he's always the man. But when you hear him, he's like he's almost like a sensei or something. He's very, very quiet, soft spoken. It seems like he's very cordial.
That's because he fought in real kumates, bro.
Really?
No. No shit.
The real kumate, like kumate. He fought in real kumate.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I remember my partner X told me that. You talked to my friend Jason. Remember, friend Jason was like, yeah, we hanging out with Mike. Mike fought in a real kumate. I'm like, that dude ain't fighting no real kumate. Bro, we drinking, sitting there talking. I was like, say, bro, he talking about you fought in a real kumate. Did you do that? Yeah, I did. What you mean? I'm talking about blood sport kumate. He's like, yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leave alive.
What?
Yeah, that's great.
Wait, what?
I remember the first time I saw my mama scold my daddy for letting me watch like a horror, because he used to let me watch horror movies, Friday the 13th. You know what I'm saying? Like women's boob bouncing all around, sex is happening, get people get chopped in half. And she worked at night. She worked at nights managing this apartment. She worked all day and half the night. I was watching Bloodsport, and you remember the part like where he was fighting that big yoked up dude?
Yeah.
Like I forget what happened. Like somebody got their knee buzzed. Oh no, it was that dude fighting somebody else, and he dismantled that guy. And she came in on that part, and my dad was asleep. He'd always fall asleep like 3 minutes into a movie, anyways. And I was just sitting there, sitting Indian style, watching this super violent. And I'll never forget her face, bro. She came in because like it was like Tom froze. She came in and said, "Hey, baby," and she was smiling and she looked over at me to come give me a hug. And then she heard like the rah, rah, you know what I mean? And she looked at the TV and she stared up for what seemed like years. And she looked back at me and then she looked at my dad, looked at the TV again, and I just kind of eased on out the room.
Yeah, you got in trouble.
That was great.
I remember one time.
Why you let D watch that violent stuff? What violent stuff? That.
I used to
love. Honey, that's not that bad.
Check this out. I've always loved horror movies. I remember when I was a little boy, there was a place called International Video. It was like right around the time of Blockbuster, a little bit before. So anyway, I used to love to watch horror movies even back then, and I'd be walking through, looking at different, covers and all that to see what the movies were about. My mom caught me, and she's like, "Wesley Vick, what the hell are you doing looking at all that trash?" And there's this other guy. She's like, "I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to him."
Hey man, that's what moms did back in the day. They ain't play none of that stuff, bro. They play none of that stuff. They had none of that. I remember my next door neighbors, dude's name was Wilfred and Rogers Montague. I'll never forget it. They was the oldest cats in the block, the coolest cats on the block. They had jobs at Blockbuster. So Fridays we go to Blockbuster and they would hook us up with every movie. Like, bro, it would be we'll go to rent a movie and they'll just stuff movies in the bag, right? They'll stuff everything new in the bag. I remember coming home one night with like, I think it was Hellraiser 3. You remember Hellraiser, the guy who had all the needles in his face or something? Like, was that Hellraiser?
Like, yes, very well.
There was 2 or 3, or maybe it was Hellraiser. Maybe it was Hellraiser 2. I remember they had stuffed that in a bag. And bro, it was VHS tapes. It wasn't no damn DVDs. It was VHS tapes. And I remember we had our garage. We had converted into a den. And so you had like a little sofa in there. And we go in there. My mom's in the bag. She started taking stuff. She said, "What the hell is this?" They done stuffed in the bag. And I was like, "Let me see." "Oh, that's Hellraiser. We should watch that." "Hell no, we ain't watching this." I said, "Well, yeah, Mama, we should watch it." "Hell no." She took it through the trash can. I said, "What if we got to bring that back?" "We ain't taking that back." That was me saying we should watch it. She said, "Hell no."
You're out of there. You're all the way out of there. You're brave. You're a brave young man.
Bro, I've always been retarded. I got myself in so much trouble, bro, for just my mouth got me in so much trouble as a kid. It was ridiculous.
I probably would have been committed to an insane asylum if I was.
Oh, definitely. Try doing that stuff now.
Yeah, man. But think about it, bro. It's because of those valuable lessons. You know what I'm saying? Every ass whooping I took, I got to look back and be extremely thankful for them because.
Oh yeah.
If I had parents that just willy-nilly didn't care that I was watching Jean-Claude Van Damme do the splits like Johnny Cage and rip people's nuts out and all that kind of stuff, I would be inundated myself with that, and that didn't happen at those, because those are formidable years when the mind's developing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And people wonder why all this violence is happening with these kids and they have so much apathy. Yet the new babysitters, their Xbox and their tablets.
Exactly, their tablets, their phones. That's coming from me of all people who enjoys these things.
Yeah. Well, you're an adult though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I have a baby nephew, and he's a smart kid. He's got great parents, but they just turn him loose. They put the parental controls on and stuff. Thank goodness, but there's some that don't. I always take it from them. Say, give me that, boy. We're going outside.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you gotta throw them outside. You gotta take them and literally say, "Go outside." You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Sometimes it's the parents, though. Like in his case, it's the parents. Like my niece, knowing how we grew up, said, "I don't want him to go outside and get dirty or get hurt." And I'm like, "Jen, are you kidding me?"
Exactly.
Bro, I'll never forget my oldest son. This is before I had my divorce. We sitting in a $400,000 house, and in my garage, I forgot what I was building. I was probably building something I shouldn't have built. But anyway, I'm hanging out in the garage, and so he comes out. We had this next door neighbor that moved in, and he was renting the house because the guy that lived there went to Africa for like 2 years, right? So he rented it out to some people that was like his family or something, and they had this bad little kid named Rodney, right? Like bad dude. So I'm sitting in there my oldest son in there, and Rodney just walk in our garage and start taking stuff. And I said, young man, what are you doing? He said, I like this. And he turns to walk off. And so I tell my son, I said, hey, I'm gonna need you to go over there and whoop his ass. And he looked, he said, what? I said, yeah, I'm gonna need you to go whoop his ass. I said, in fact, before you go whoop his ass, go get your little brother and both of y'all go whoop his ass. And so
Yeah, right.
He walk inside like he's scared. Him call his brother like, Joe, man, this dude taking our stuff. And they come outside and they say, hey man, you gonna put that back? And he was like crazy. He was like, he talked in third person. He said, Rodney liked this, so Rodney taking it. And I'm looking like,
oh, bro, he was out of there.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, he was crazy. He's a crazy.
And I said, man, y'all gonna have to whoop him. I said, I'm gonna whoop y'all. One it's going down one way or the other. So they jump on Rodney, beat him up, kicking him, taking stuff. And you know how you get through with a fight, you're breathing out hard, they come back inside, they high-fiving each other, and he get up. He said, Rodney gonna stab y'all. I said, oh, Lord, this thing go crazy. And he was like, he gonna stab us. I said, well, if he come back with a knife, don't worry about it. We'll deal with it. He never came back, but I was like, no, don't ever let nobody take nothing from you, bro.
Yeah, that dude, that's Jason. That's Michael Myers.
Bro, he was mad. Like, they had a neighbor across the street. This woman had to be like 45 years old, Creole, gorgeous woman. I mean, type of woman that if type of woman that was so beautiful that if you just so happen to look at her direction, you wouldn't stop looking, right?
Yeah.
Bro, her son had to be 14, 15 years old. This dude, Rodney, was there a couple of years. I think he about 7, 8 years old at this point in time. Maybe 9 years old. He walks up to her son and says, your mama real pretty. Rodney want her. He said, what? He said to the dude, said, what you say? Your mama real pretty. Rodney want her. He just stung him. Boom! Hit him dead in the mouth. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. And then about a year later,
that kid was out of there. He was a danger to himself and everybody around him.
Bro, I promise you, little Rodney is somewhere in prison right now. There's no doubt about it.
Either that or, I mean, little Rodney's somewhere murking people.
Man, little Rodney in prison. I promise.
Rodney's an assassin. Rodney killed for money.
Bro, I'm talking, bro, my man talked in third person.
Rodney get job done.
Have you ever done that?
Wow.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, bro, you want to do something funny. Well, I don't go out no more. But if you ever go out and you're hanging out with some people and you're around a bunch of broads, just start talking in third person. And bro, the shift in the conversation is either talk in third person or ask a question, then answer your own question. But if you talk in third person and answer your own question, it throws people off. So you'd be like, James is hungry. Y'all hungry? And they'd be like, yeah, we hungry. James is hungry. Man, you know what James want? James want a hamburger. And just shut up. And, just talk in third person, then switch it back to talking in regular first person. They're going to be like, what the hell? And then do it again.
I never did the third person. That's hilarious. I never did the third person, but I wish I would have thought of that. But what I did do is the second part. Like it was when the ex-wife and I first got together, and she worked at a restaurant. She was a waitress and a bartender. And there's always, it's a revolving door in those places, and she'd always be trying to make new friends with all these waitresses, and she'd bring them home. And I was an old country boy, like straight up. I fished with my kid when she's old enough to hold a rod on Saturday mornings, and I worked through the week.
I'll be right back.
And drink raw whiskey. And so whenever she'd always have these parties every other Friday, and there'd be a ridiculous amount of people at the house. So I'd just like pretend like I was crazy, like dangerous crazy. I'd sit at the head of the table in my seat, and people come over and introduce themselves. I'd always look at them mad, and like when they were coming over, I'd be like, "Shut up! They can hear you talking." Hey, how you doing? and they'd be, "Hey, I'm D. I'm Annette's husband. She told me a lot about you. I heard that you're going to school at OU next semester. That's fantastic. Like, I know a couple of people that went to OU. You got to tell them who they are. I got to tell them that. What do you mean?" Like, I was like, anyways, and I turned my head so they wouldn't see my mouth moving, and just keep dry ass going back with the conversation. So, anyways, sorry about that. And I just keep doing that, and I would always target one person, and I'd make sure that I didn't talk to anybody else. Like, literally not talk to anybody. If somebody else said something, I'd look mad and mean and then just disappear. And whenever the person like seemed like they would get like really kind of tripped out or scared or something like that, I would look at them dead square in the eyes and make them look away. Like, I just dead stare.
Yeah, you
and
just
say,
acting retarded, bro.
I'd say you'd have to excuse me. I have to return some videotapes.
And
I'd leave.
Retarded, bro. You acting full retarded.
Yeah, she got mad, and I told her, all right, well then my cue that your goofy friends are extremely annoying, and I'm gonna leave and go over one of my buddies' house till they leave. Is I have to return some videotapes. And I got that from American Psycho. Like whenever he was about to trip out, he just stare at him with that sociopath stare. You'll have to excuse me. I forgot I have to return some videotapes.
That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious.
Sometimes,
bro, the best one is like I had a whole dry ass conversation with me, and this one girl because she thought she was being smart. She thought she was going she was hip to my gimmick because I've been doing it for 3 weeks. And Annette said, "Oh, he's not crazy. He just likes messing with y'all." And so I was like, I bet you told him that you're not crazy. I bet you did too. Well, that's good though, right? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. It depends on the And I was having this conversation, and like this girl was like, "Ah, you're so funny." I was like, "What? Why am I funny? I'm glad you think so. I don't think I'm too funny, but okay." And she's like, she thinks we're funny. What does that mean? Who cares what she thinks? Bro, and like she actually got mad and kept calling me out on it, and to the point where she's getting loud and drawing attention. And I was, see what you did, dummy? I didn't do that. You did that. And she asked me just to like go play my Xbox. No, I was like, okay.
You're muting me out. Leave me alone. What you about to say?
Yeah,
Wes? My bad.
that
We
was,
cut you off. What you about to say?
Wes?
I was saying you're right. That's the goal. Like, make them extremely uncomfortable. Hopefully, most of them will leave, so I can like sit down and watch John Wayne like shoot bad guys.
I'll tell you one time, I had a coworker. He legitimately had a problem with a female that would not leave him alone, and I was like, "I got you." And basically, I'm like, "Give me the phone." And basically, I start doing this. Hey, baby, blah, blah, blah. I really want your taco right now. Come on, I want it. That bitch run up so fast.
Oh yeah, you retarded.
Yeah, that made me uncomfortable, bro. Like
that made me uncomfortable, bro. Don't do that no more.
Oh, I'm just saying.
You did this to your buddy's girlfriend, hey, bro. Let me tell you something. If he did it to some girl that was harassing his buddy. Oh, bro, you know how you handle them, don't you?
I was right.
You say, hey, look, old such and such. Let's say it's you. Hey, old Thaddeus, like he doesn't understand you, but I do. So I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what a real man is. I'm gonna take you off his hands. But what I need you to do, and it's already paid for, and you pay for it. You pay for the hotel, and pay for the, say go to dinner, and when you're not there, she shows up and you're not there. Say, you know what, I got caught up with work. I'm sincerely sorry, but I'll make it up to you. There'll be like candy and like flowers in the room. I'll have something sent. I'll order something, have it sent there. Just wait for me. And she's not gonna open the candy right away. She's gonna be looking around the room, like texting her friends. And by the time she realizes it's been like 45 minutes, an hour, she'll open that candy. And inside of it, and every little individual thing is a bunch of rocks. And she'll lift that up and she'll look underneath and she'll find and it has to be a card. It can't be a piece of paper. She'll look at the card and it'll say, leave my friend alone. Because if you're this gullible, imagine what I could do if I was trying to trick you.
That's pretty sick, bro. Something wrong with you.
No, that.
You got a problem.
You got problems. Both of y'all got problems.
No.
Full retard room tonight, man. Y'all tripped out, man. But y'all tripped out. I wouldn't do that.
Let me tell you something. Dangerous women. There's dangerous women down here in Oklahoma. All right, there's women that will like cut you and stalk you at your job and stuff. So, and that's what this woman was in this hypothetical scenario.
Let me tell you some jokes aside. I had a member of my family. He was dealing with an ex. Me and him was. You guys know who he is. But me and him used to stay in the same apartment. We were living together. And he was my brother. And anyway, he had an ex. This woman was something out of a nightmare. I'm talking about like real bad movie material. So yeah,
like the one with the dude who pushed that lady out the window. What is that one? That's an awesome movie.
Yeah, no,
Fatal Attraction.
More like the lady with the rabbits.
That movie scared me, bro. Like I watched that way too young too. Like that movie was scary.
Fatal Attraction was soft porn.
Again, it's something I was watching when I had no business watching.
I had no business watching that when I was a kid.
I didn't see it, bro. That was a horror movie to me.
Not to me.
Just like that movie with the author and that woman kidnaps him.
Oh, where she broke his legs.
That movie. I don't know why, but that movie was as scary as The Shining to me when I was a kid.
I've only watched it once. I won't watch it again.
I'm the same way, bro. Like I think because I was watching all these movies at these developmental stages, and they were like, "No, I don't want no parts of any woman living alone with a bunch of cats who reads a bunch of books." Because she drives captured him and broke his ankles because she wanted the ending of a book face. That's scary.
Crazy shit, man.
This isn't how it ends.
Yeah.
Man. No, sir. Gentlemen, I've had a blast. I got it out of my system. I needed this. And
No problem,
I don't know how late you're gonna be up, but if y'all are up around 11,
about 15 minutes, I'm gonna hit it up too. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and do some more double talk with Wes, and then I'm gonna hop over there with you.
Some double talk.
Yeah, hop over there with you, bro.
All right, that'll work.
My partner Shelby, bro. You talked to Shelby once, bro. That dude is a master.
Yeah.
If he won't mess with you, he will double talk you to death. He'll be like, "Say, bro, like, yeah, what's up, man? What time you going? What time you coming over here? Stop that, dude. What you mean stop that? What you mean stop that, bro? Stop double talking me, bro. He will drive you up a wall just double talking.
Yeah, that dude. I mean, he seems like he's so smart that he's almost a savant, though.
He is a savant.
He vibrates at a different frequency than everybody else.
He's a freaking savant retard, bro. That's a dude. I go by his house and there's a bunch of bees, and he pulls out a flamethrower and starts killing the bees. He's got a necklace with all these heads around that he made on, and he's on top of the roof shooting bees with a flamethrower. Me and his old lady are on the ground.
Flamethrower?
A real flamethrower, bro. I posted the pictures on YouTube on my YouTube. He up there with a flamethrower with all these heads around his neck, like literal heads around his neck, and just with the flamethrower, y'all gonna leave my woman alone? Like, oh my god,
retarded, that is awesome,
retarded, bro.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. So I guess like what stuck his girlfriend or his wife?
It was trying to sting, and he just went up there with the flamethrower, just wilding out, bro.
That's amazing, and I can comfortably say that's romantic. Maybe don't worry about them bees.
Don't worry about them bees, because I got something for them.
You like this? All right, gentlemen. Big homie, I'll see you in an hour ish.
Why you waiting the whole hour?
11? I don't know. I want to take a smash, eat some eggs.
Man, okay, well I'll be there. It's way past my bedtime, but I'm gonna hang around.
All right,
bro. Y'all are night owls, bro. For real.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, y'all be bugged out. West be up at 2-3 in the morning. You be up at 2, man. I be knocked out.
Even if I go to sleep early, I wake up because it's clock in time for a lot of things. So
yeah, I'm with you, but man, I can't roll like that. That's crazy.
Well, you're gonna have to thug it out with little bro tonight. All right, gentlemen.
All right,
chat. Thank y'all for entertaining my madness for a little bit. I needed that. Talk about some non-monsterish stuff.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all on the Late Show.
You too, bud.
Thanks, Stat.
Wes, man, you ever got into Stargate TV show?
Yes and no. I like the movie. The show, by the time I started watching it, it was too late into it. It was like season 3 or 4. To me, it just wasn't worth trying to catch up.
What about Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes.
Bro. I love me some Buffy. I fell in love with me some Buffy. I love that girl that played Buffy. That was one hell of a show. I didn't realize back then how much real satanic stuff they had in it, but it still was one hell of a show. It was full of all kind of crazy satanic stuff, but it was a good show. And my son came over here today, and I was watching Stargate Atlantis. He was like, "Yo, Pops," he's like, "Yo, every time I come in here, you sitting here smoking a cigar, watching Stargate." I'm like, bro, I'm chilling, man. I'm relaxing. He's like, "Yo, you a Stargate nerd?" I'm like, "For sure." I'm like, "For sure, I watched this." So I'm gonna go through all the Stargates, then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna binge watch through all the Buffys, and then I'll probably go through all of Father Brown. Then I'll go back to my favorite, which is Psych, and I'll binge watch every episode of Psych.
Psych's hilarious.
Bro, Psych is the funniest.
Oh God,
bro, Psych is the funniest thing on the planet, bro.
Yes,
I'm talking about good, wholesome fun too, because it's not real provocative, and it's not a whole bunch of sex in it. It's just hilarious, bro.
Yeah, it's just funny. I'll be honest, man. I've never really. Well, actually, Corey opened a lot of my eyes to a lot of things. There are some games I still play. I still play Skyrim a lot, but at the same time, I have a lot more open mind on things. D&D, I practically stopped. I used to be really into that every now and then, but I pretty much, a lot of the divining I've turned down on. Most of the stuff I've stopped. the thing is, I just never really thought about how much spirits were into everything, man. I never really thought about it. It's just something you take for granted, you know?
Bro, it's ridiculous, man. Like, it's what we come in agreement with is what we allow, what spirits we allow into our life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes.
You know, that's all it is to it, bro. It's a once you have the knowledge, then you got to be responsible towards it
Yep.
and be repentant more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna slip up and do something crazy every now and then, but you
No,
really got to be
correct.
responsible for it, man. World Weather Authority is handling his business. This looks great.
I was going to say, I heard that you guys had some. I saw some. Sean actually shared a video through either Messenger or text. I can't remember. Of a big old fucking tornado that was going through New Orleans. I was a little worried about you for a minute there.
But that was on the West Bank in Gretna, in Old Gretna. It rocked and it found some trailer park, which is what they always do, which is crazy because it always runs through a trailer park. But it wasn't. I think they had like 30,000 people out power. They getting their power back on now. I think one person died.
That sucks.
That's the man. You know, that's we never had tornadoes down here up until like the past 4 years. We never ever had tornadoes.
Really?
All of a sudden we got bro. We never had tornadoes. All of a sudden we got tornadoes left and right.
See, I live in the valley now. In Houston, it was a nightmare when it came to hurricane. Well, you already know. I mean, hurricanes ain't no joke, and especially when you're in any city off the coast, especially in New Orleans, obviously. But down here in the valley, you don't have the extreme weather. I mean, you don't have the extreme weather. Mainly, it's hot. The summers are a nightmare here.
I can imagine, bro. Mess around and don't have no power, bro. You got a problem. No AC.
It'll kill you, point blank. I'm telling you right now. You will not survive. You get temperatures like up here or down here, I should say, up to like between 108, 110. I remember seeing one in the heat index was like 112. It's insane.
Hell no.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned, man. My AC, I mean, I have two air conditioning, I have two AC units, and at that time I only had one. And I was like in my room, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this shit. I was worried. I thought I was gonna have some problems. Luckily, I didn't.
Man, I'll tell you, what I love about being from down here is people are so like prepared for like hurricanes and
Definitely
power outages. And I remember my partner, we had one of those 3-day power outages, right? He had a generator and his generator wouldn't power his AC, but it would keep all his lights on. This dude went to the store. He got he went to the store on the North Shore, got buku bags of ice, got a cooler, got a fan, cut a hole in the cooler, rigged it to where he had his own air conditioner. All he had to do was blow the fan over the ice. I went in his house, man. His house was ice cold. I was like, bro, it's cold in here. He's like, yeah, man, we got our own homemade AC. I was like, man, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So people down here, they are survivors. You know what I'm saying? Real deal survivors.
Back when I kid, the hurricane itself was not too bad. The wind, it wasn't, not people didn't die or anything like that. But there was a power outage for over, I want to say close to 2 weeks. And this is right after I had my major breakdown mentally. But the thing is, I still had some pay left over from my job. I used the last of it to get like a little bitty generator from like an auto car park place. And it was right. I used to live off of North Shore, and I used to live near the North Shore area in Houston. It was off of Federal and I-10. And anyway, I'll get to the point. I bought this little generator, and it saved our asses, man, because the heat afterward, of course, was so terrible. I mean, we didn't really we were able to keep our food cool. We had an air conditioner, we had a window unit. We were able to do what we needed to do. Man, I am so grateful even to this day because I had the last one. And we were able to do what we needed to do.
Bro, we got window units in every closet in here right now. They're not in the windows, they're in the closet. And if a hurricane comes and the power goes out, guess what? Pop that generator, pop the window units in. We got the cable that runs from the generator into the dryer outlet. Pop that on, go to bed. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go to sleep. You ain't gonna have no internet. You might have to watch something on a DVD, but
that's fine. Hell, I mean, we didn't have no internet either. I had a shitload of games, and I had some old YouTube videos that I downloaded back in the day, movies. I kept myself busy.
The only thing about that generator, bro, like in a neighborhood where it makes you paranoid because you're the only person with lights. You kind
Yeah.
of want to have no lights on because
Uh-huh.
you know your eyes need to be able to adjust. If you got light and you go outside at night into that darkness, it take a long time for your eyes to adjust,
It
man.
does. Yes, it does.
It take a
What's
long
going on,
time for your
Sean?
eyes to adjust, and you can't really see. And bro, that last hurricane we had down here was me and my sons, and it was where I was. It was only 4 other people here, so it was 3 of us, and that made 7 people in this whole area. And what we did was we took turns because they were siphoning gas out of your cars,
I'm
and
not
so
surprised.
we were taking turns, staying up and sitting out on watch. And that was wild because it was me, my sons, this Dominican couple that didn't really speak a whole bunch of English. Then this real ghetto dude with a Draco. He was
Oh
just
God.
and bro, it's so hot. Everybody walking around like the broad walking around with a bra on and panties.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody walking around with no shirt on and
Yeah.
drawers on.
Oh yeah.
And I remember a neighbor came outside and he was like, "Sid, what do we need? We ain't got no food." I said, "Bro, I got food, bro. I got you." And he was like, "I'm on watch. You know, I'm gonna knock on your door when I get tired, you know, and you'll come out and say, yeah, I'll watch, man." And so I was up at like from 3 till sunrise, just sitting out there.
I want to say 2 years ago, you guys, of course, of course, it didn't happen with you, but a bunch of us in Texas, when there was that snowstorm and it was a major fuck up. Most of the people from ERCOT were fired,
Right.
because the way they handled things, it was a major cluster mess. But I was, luckily, I had my mom's best friend, and she took me in and let me stay with her. She was on a hospital grid in LaPorte, so she was able to. We were comfortable. But the first, I want to say, close to a week, I was stuck in that damn room in the house, and we all kind of, me and I was on good terms with most of my neighbors. You had a couple of pieces of trash, but not too many, and they didn't hang around. The ones that mattered did, and we were lucky. We had like those old school stoves, the gas, so we were able to light them up. And how can I say this point blank? What we was doing was we would keep warm with those things. There was one guy, his name was Sydney. This little fool turned on. I mean, he was like, "Man, there's a health code violation," and we were all like, "Oh, we're gonna beat the shit out of you. Turn that shit back on."
Right.
I mean, we shared food with each other. We were able. I mean, we did pretty okay. We watched each other. Made sure no one, because also you'd have transients. I lived between 2 freeways. So you'd have transients trying to come around up to no good. We were able to kind of make sure they didn't come around and hurt anybody. So it was a bad situation, but you'd be surprised how well people work together when they have to.
Oh no, people work together real well when they ain't got no choice, bro.
Exactly.
They work together real well when they're not. When everything is normal, they retarded.
Exactly.
But when they ain't, bro, when they ain't got no choice, they get along extremely well when they don't have a choice. Let me see who texted me. The dude funny. He is hilarious. But yeah, bro, people get along really, really well when there's no other option but to get along.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Even with Ike when it hit, when like I said, we were out of power and stuff, we had some Spanish speaking neighbors. These guys were awesome, and they, I mean, Jim and my mom. This is my mom. This is right after, not long after my brother died. My mom was drinking like a fish, and they even helped her with some booze. I mean, we were all doing pretty okay despite the bullshit.
Well, bro, that's what I love about being from New Orleans, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I like being from here. You don't like a lot of areas. People get into the race thing, like this person races, that like down here, bro. Everybody, because we deal with so much craziness. Everybody pretty much get along. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad. That was a problem when I was in Houston, especially when, I'll tell you a situation. I've talked to you on the phone about this, but people, when that pandemic started, people in Houston got stupid, man. I mean, there's like the race card was thrown everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? We're trying to get along here especially when the riots were going on. To me, that was insanity. I'm like, people this stupid? Well, they have to try real hard.
Bro, people are real crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was, well, you already know. I told you many times, this is one of the reasons they got the hell out of there, too.
Yeah,
and
bro,
that was really when the supernatural crap in my house started going on, too.
Really?
A lot of it, yeah. around that time, yeah, I want to say, you know that issue I had with the Shadow Man staring at me as I was trying to sleep and all kinds of shit like that. Yeah, that was a little bit right when it was beginning. But yeah, it was, things were getting bad in that place. Also, two people that I knew. One lady I knew pretty well. She was an alcoholic. She drank herself to death. I had the pleasure, and I mean that with a lot of sarcasm, of her being taken out in the Glad bag. Don't ever want to see that again. That fucked with my head even now.
Wow.
It's like this lady I talked to, she's basically a slab, basically a slab of cold meat being carted out. A couple of days before I wanted to check on her, it was just like something, your spirit will speak to you. We all have that. And it was something wanted me to check, but something also held me back. And I'm glad now because I would have been the one to find her body.
Yeah, that's not cool, bro.
No, not at all. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff like that happened. And I'm just saying, there was another girl, I kind of said this earlier, young girl too, young black girl. She was a little rough around the edges, but I didn't think she would croak off. She had an overdose in one of the rooms downstairs. It was like just crazy, man. Right when that pandemic was going along, I saw a lot of people die.
Oh no, I can believe it, bro. I can believe a whole bunch of people died.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of people died, and it was I'm pretty sure it was beyond horrific. You know what I'm saying?
It was bad. Must say, of course, COVID it took my stepfather away from me. I mean, the thing is, most of the deaths I saw weren't from no fucking COVID. That's what's so crazy about it. It was like there was a spirit in that place that was, or a bunch of very, how can I say is the best way? A bunch of fucking evil. That's all I know to say. Sorry about cussing, it's just the truth.
No, I'm with you. There was a whole bunch of evil going on back in those days, man. It was so much evil going on that you still see the ramifications of all the evil right now. You know what I'm saying? You still see it playing out. You see it playing out everywhere on every angle. You just see evil on every corner at this point in time. It's just like people lost their minds to a point to where there's no more respect for life.
No.
There's literally it's just, I don't know, bro. It's creepy the way things went down with that.
And yeah, the thing is, the fallout of all that negativity, balled up, and now it's being released. I think that was all by design. We both know that. But the thing is, what really bothers me, I don't care what your choice, whether we got vaxxed or you didn't. I mean, I'm not going to keep that very limited because I don't want to get my channel banned. But my point is that, how can I say this the best way? We should not have been fighting each other like we are now, even. It's just, we really, I think, I don't care what you view, we really need to stand together and stop trying to, that's what they want. What these bastards want for us. They want us divided. And it bothers me. It really does.
I'm with you. It's a sad thing, man. It's a sad thing when people behave that way. But that's human nature. And the people who did that, they know it and they understand human nature.
Of course.
So they knew exactly what they were doing when they did it. I mean, they knew exactly what they were doing when they did it.
I'm good, Chaos. But yeah, on a more positive note, things are going pretty well for me. A lot better since I've moved down here. Actually, me and my dad are getting along better. He still has his moments, but things are looking good, despite every now and then there's flare-ups, but I'm learning to handle them. Like, you already know, we talked earlier, what went down, that I had been going through that maybe a few years ago, I wouldn't have come back from it.
Right.
So maybe things are actually getting better. I just need to start seeing things that way.
Oh man, life is good. You know what I'm saying? Like your relationship with him is probably better than it's ever been at this point.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, well, you already know some of the things that went down, and yeah, by now, man, the ability to forgive, that right there, man, is just such a gift when you can actually look that person in the eye and say, "Hey, man, I love you," and you don't feel that hate. That, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, of course, you might know, but many people don't know just how much of a burden that's taken away from you.
Bro, that's why the Bible says you got to be able to forgive. It's better to forgive somebody, especially if you know that person is in a certain manner or they're a certain way. It's better to forgive them and get that off your chest, because that hate and anger will fester. And then what it does is it'll bring you into either anger, and then anger brings you into depression. Or in my case, the reason why I forgive people is because I know once I get extremely offended and extremely upset, then I go reverting back to what I really am at the core, and that's not a good person at all.
I
And
understand. Believe me.
that person don't need to be running around doing nothing. That
No, I
dude is
get you.
not a good dude. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
get you. Believe me, I do understand that. The thing is, I think firmly, like I said, forgive. People think forgiveness is just like that. It takes years to truly be able to forgive someone. But once you do, there you go.
Man, I just gave this dude my rook. I just gave this dude my piece. I'm tripped out right now. Just giving pieces away, bro. You know what
Oh,
I'm
it's all
saying?
good, man.
Giving pieces away. Yeah, no, bro. That's um that's a huge lesson for people, bro. Um, learning to forgive, and then as far as God is concerned, as far as Father is concerned, like He'll move for you and deal with anything that's bothering you, as long as you do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if
Yes.
you're a forgiving person, you forgive somebody who wronged you. Okay, he's like, okay, son, I told you to forgive those people. Okay, you forgave them. And then say, all right, Daddy, you told me to forgive. I forgave. Now, hey, I'm gonna leave it up to you, and you let him go do what he gonna do.
No one's daddy
And,
takes it. He takes it.
and he takes it. And he handles his business. You know, and that's
Yeah.
the best thing about it, man. I have a friend of mine right now. Um, struggling. You know, New Orleans is a very corrupt place,
Yes.
and when you are a part of the machine like we were, and you
Mhm.
exit, and like I exited that machine, and every now and then I'll deal with it. But he's in the process of exiting that same corrupt system. And what happens when you exit that system is that system comes to destroy you.
Yes, it does.
And that's what they did to me. And they weren't very successful at it. They tried to, but
Mhm.
he's exiting that system. And so that system is turning against him to destroy him.
Of course.
And we sitting there talking. He's like, well, man, you know, and Wes, I'm talking about, you know, New Orleans is a place where um you'll have people that are police officers that's off duty follow you home, you
Mhm.
know, trying to see if you know, they'll try and set you up with alcohol, let's get you with a
Mhm.
DUI charge.
Mhm.
It's wild, bro. Like it
I
really is
believe
a
it.
wild
I
place,
believe
bro.
it.
And he's going through what I went through, where to fight that system you need to tap into that system.
Mhm.
And as you're pulling away from it and people know you're pulling away,
Yeah.
they want to destroy you because they know things. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's like,
Exactly.
man, you know how this stuff is made in the kitchen, man. And it's really to force you to come back into the system. And
Mhm.
I'm
They
telling
want.
him, look, man, leave that to the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Leave it to God and do what you need to do. But it's a New Orleans is a treacherous place, bro. When I
Oh, I
say it's
believe it.
treacherous, it's a treacherous place once you're in the halls of power of New Orleans. And I tell people all the time, this is a place um where you get pulled over by the police and get taken by the police. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it ain't no Black Lives Matter type. You know what I'm saying? No,
Mhm.
this is the mob. They're gonna take you, and it ain't no
Mhm.
Italians. It's the blacks.
Yeah,
And
I know
so
what
it's
you're
one
talking
of
about.
those things to where, bro, you gotta, you know, if you don't pray up when you're dealing with these people, boy, you got problems. And I've seen them mess with one preacher that wasn't corrupt, because a lot of the preachers are down here are corrupt.
Of course.
Um,
You
and
have
I
that in
see,
Houston too.
huh?
You have a lot of that in Houston too. Just look at what's that fool's name? Joel Osteen. The
Yep.
perfect example.
Yeah, but I seen them mess with one preacher out here, excuse me,
It's all good.
that wasn't corrupt, and the whole. I mean, he really was a man of God, and their whole thing got wrecked because they decided they was gonna mess with him.
Mhm.
Um, people went to prison.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, and it was crazy because it was like the FBI down here will have people under surveillance for years. I mean, they'll be listening to people's phone for years, and they'll let people get away with stuff as long as they're not doing bodily harm to somebody else. They'll let them get away with some of the most amazing things, but they'll know what you're doing.
Oh, of course.
But if if you're not hurting anyone or plotting to hurt anyone, they'll let people get away with all kind of stuff until you make that mistake to where, okay, you cross that line, and then they come get
Yep.
that person. And so, bro, when I tell you this city's crazy, bro, this city is crazy.
I wouldn't even want to try living there. I'm just gonna be straight with you.
Yeah, this city is crazy, man. This is crazy. That's why you always got to have your connections, and you always got to have at least one foot in the door of power, to where if you need to kick it in and be like, yo, I think you forgot who my name is this. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. But that stuff is taxing though, Wes, because you have to maintain relationships and friendships with people. And maintaining those relationships and friendships, I mean, you got to go to certain places and be with certain people. And it's like you walking in a pit of vipers, lions, tigers, grizzly bears. Like
Oh yeah,
it's just,
lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.
yeah, bro, it's crazy. But you got to be able to walk in there and deal with them. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like a saying I heard from a video game of all things. One step in the grave, the other in hell.
Yeah, bro, that's what it's like. The greatest thing God did for me was pull me out of that.
I'll be honest, man. Well, you know, a little bit when I was in that group home, you know their real names. I call them Gwen and Stacy for privacy sake and respect.
Right.
But Gwen, she told me one time. This is right before This is one night when everything went to shit. I'm never gonna put anything else out there on that. But she was saying, you know, Wes, I prayed that God would remove all the people from my life that would be a problem or I couldn't get along with. And that night, later, something happened that was the beginning of all that. And it was kind of strange, you know. God removed me from that situation. He made it so unbearable for me that I had to leave.
Yeah.
There was things I did too. I admit that. A lot of things I did were just bad things. But I did not know that this is really what made me really believe in God. I mean, I had faith, but it was limited. It was mainly lip service. But this is what made me see. He literally, it's like he basically grabbed me and moved me like a piece on a chessboard or checkers, you know? And he'll do that in order to prepare you for the things that are to come and what you're set here for.
No, bro, that's what he does, man. I can tell you there have been people in my life that I know that were murdered or died because they were removed because they had to go. And these people that I was cool with, but as long as they were there, I had connections to things that
you had no business,
that I couldn't disconnect myself from, and they were taken. And bro, and it happens all the time. I mean, it happens. It's happened to other friends. You know, be like, man, you know why homie died? Yeah, bro, because God wanted me to do this, and I ain't gonna never be able to do it if that man around. And it's just, bro, that's just how it worked, bro. But most people don't understand. Those are high level spiritual things that people go through that most people don't understand. And when it's done, they don't see it for what it is. They're like, oh man, things went to hell. No, bro, you got moved from where you were. Hell. And when it's all said and done, you're gonna be in a better situation. But you weren't capable of doing it. And like, I appreciate everybody that God moves out of my life because he'll move people out of my life in different ways.
Yeah.
And some people he'll move quietly, some people he'll move noisily, some people he'll move violently. But he'll move the people out of the way so you can do what you need to do for him. And I just be like, I appreciate you moving that person. You know what I'm saying?
What's so crazy? You know what's so crazy is if them two people I was telling you about, if you walk to them, they'll be like, man, Wes planned this. I guarantee you, Wes planned this. How this happened?
What?
And you know what's so crazy? I didn't plan any of it. I was smart enough to listen and gather resources and memories if I had to do something. I didn't plan on doing anything the day it happened.
Right.
I broke. And I said, fuck you. I'll wash my hands of you. I'm done. And it was just like, he literally just moved me. And it could not have landed in a better way. It's just insane. Let's leave it this. You already know I'm kind of on a fixed income, right? So point blank, I'll get to it. This was, you know, I mean, you and me had talked a little bit, but I didn't know you like I know you now. We've been talking a little bit, but this is a period of time, there's that 1 year period where, you know, whatever, right? So that day, I had only $200. I mean, I'd already paid my rent the day before. And I only had $200 for the month and basically my essentials. That was it. I literally had to leave my clothing, my mother's possessions that she had left me behind. No, they were gracious enough to get, here's what's so crazy. It got so bad because Gwen's sons, they wanted to hurt me, maybe even worse. Luckily, I had a family member. She's deceased now, I believe. God bless her soul. But she had a carry permit. So she basically had a gun with her. So basically, Stacey was watching out. I got to give her respect. She was watching out to make sure Gwen's sons weren't going to hurt me. You know, this is at like what do you call it, a postal office thing.
Uh,
Anyway, this other lady I was with, she had a gun, and she helped me get my stuff, my mom's stuff, not my stuff. I didn't even care about that. I wanted certain things that I still have that was dear to me, and I'm gonna be blunt with you. Would I probably kill to get them? Yes, I admit that, but they were that important to me, and I was able to do that. And it's just crazy just how much God has gotten me out of some situations a lot of times of my own doing, and I admit it.
no, bro. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Father, man. He'll get you out of
Yes,
situations that you
that
can't get
is.
yourself out of, and then make it clear that, hey, son, you couldn't have did this without me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Oh
couldn't have
yeah.
done this without me. This was me, and you can't give credit to nobody else.
No,
This
even
is me.
now I have moments where I talk to Daddy. I'm like, Daddy, I'm fucking angry with you, man. Right now, I'm sorry. I am mad at you. I mean, this was situations. I'm like, I'm open with him. I don't hide it. I owe him more than that. And it's
Mhm.
like, Daddy, right now, screw you. I'm pissed. I mean, actually, a lot worse than that, but I know he understands. I'm like, Daddy, it is going to happen again, but I know you're willing to work with me. But damn it, right now, I'm pissed. I need you to get me out of this. Help me. And he always does. Despite the fact of my own problems, he's always had my back. And that right there will always be the case.
Yeah, bro, and that's the one thing I want for a lot of people to understand, man. Like this field is so drenched with people who are um they're hurt.
Tormented will be a light saying of it.
No, they're hurt. They're
Yeah.
hurt. They're confused, they're afraid,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are looking for power,
Yes, they are.
and they're looking for love and
Yes.
attention.
Mm.
And a lot of these holes that, because I talk to a lot of people, man, these gaps that people have in their life that they're trying to fill,
Yeah.
bro, they can't fill them with the things that they're trying to fill them with.
No,
They
they
want
can't.
to fill them with influence. They want to fill them with
Mm-hmm.
money. They want to fill them with relationships. They want to fill these gaps with all these different things, and you'll never be able to fill that gap because that's not what's missing. You know what I'm saying?
No, you
You
have to.
need God, and then God will fill
Yeah.
in. He'll give you all the rest of that stuff,
Yes, he will.
and that's what people need, bro. But I love doing this because I love talking to people. I love helping people.
Yes, sir.
I'm over cryptids because it's just like, bro, I know what the truth is about them now. I'm not fascinated by it in any way, shape, or
No.
form. But I'll stay here and keep on and help people as long as he wants me to, until he tells me,
Mm-hmm.
okay, son, you can leave this alone. Because I realize now I can't stop doing it till he let me stop, because he gonna wreck whatever else I try and do until it gets to the point to where I've done what he wants me to do. I think I'm getting close, but
Yeah.
um we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it
I
growing and
totally
keep it
understand.
making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I was going to say, I mean, honestly, other than doing what I do, which you, of course, have hired me to do, I don't even look at, I mean, every now and then I watch stuff, but honestly, I used to consume it a lot. But now I mainly just keep my head out of the stuff and try to keep away of negativity where I can, and I just do what I need to do because I've gotten to that point.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people getting to that point, bro. Once you understand what it is, I mean,
Exactly.
it's not hard to say, okay, well, am I gonna sit here and study demons? You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Or what am I gonna do? Once you really understand what it is, there's flesh and blood creatures, yes, but it's things that are with them that end
Mm-hmm.
up being a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Even like me and D was talking, even the Vatican and the Catholic Church talks about the fact that animals can be possessed, and if this
Yes,
is an
they can
animal,
be. Well, think
then
about it. I was going to say with Legion, when Christ cast those
into the
little
pigs.
horrors into the pigs, yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. That's a good example.
It's a perfect example of it. But you know, there's this prevailing thing in this field where people are scared to talk about God because they feel like the audiences are going to ignore them and turn their backs on them
We'll make fun of them.
or make fun of them. And um, to me, that's the most cowardly thing I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? From day one, I've been talking about God. You know what I'm saying? Since I
Mm-hmm.
came in this,
Yes,
and it's
sir.
just, to me, it's the most cowardly thing. And we're
It
talking
is.
about people who are Christians. I ain't talking about non-Christians. They're gonna talk about whatever the hell they want to
Yeah,
talk
of
about.
course. But I know exactly what you're saying. Is like people are of the faith and they're afraid to mention this because, oh God, I'll be shunned or whatever. And
Hmm.
that's stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, that's I know what I'm here to do, and I'm going to do it.
But it's funny because those same people will be tortured at night with sleep paralysis. They'll have fear. Their wives will be they'll have problems in their relationships, but they're in the field with no covering. And you'll be amazed, bro. Like a lot of the field investigators I talk to, I've done interviews with people that I just haven't released. And we'll get to really talking personal stuff, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, that's why I'm having this problem. That's why my wife behaves this way when I come back from the field. That's why this, that's why that. I'm like, yeah, bro, like it's not rocket science, my man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I feel so angry. Yeah, that's why you feel so angry, bro.
Well, the thing is, man, you would know more than most on this. Many people don't understand when it comes to that. There's one thing that keeps them in a lot of trouble, and that's denial. They refuse to see. It's denial.
Yeah, it's not only that, they refuse to see it, and they don't realize that, bro. This is the one thing I learned with Vic Cundiff, all the beef I had with Vic, right? People didn't understand it because they couldn't see it from 30,000-foot view. Like, there was this religious, cultish aspect to Dogman back in those days. And it was like a religion. And you could see it when people came, like take Vault for an example, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Vault went on Vic's show, and then he fell out of agreement with those people over there. It was as if he broke away from a cult and everybody attacked him, right?
That's crazy, but you're right.
And it's a perfect example. It's like everybody attacked him. Like, I mean, it was thousands at that point in time, bro. It was thousands of people attacking him. Take another example. Lon Strickler. Lon was in the hospital, on his deathbed. This is what really started the beef with me and Vic's people. Lon was in the hospital on his deathbed, dying. And Lon messages me, hey, man, I'm in the hospital. These people are talking crazy about me. I don't know what to do. And I reach out to Vic, yo, bro, this man is in the hospital. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? And he's my business partner. If you mess with him, you mess with me. Bro, those people went crazy. And right then and there, I said, hold on. This is too much like a cult, and cults are associated with a religion. And then I just started calling for what it was. Man, this is a cult. This is a Dogman cult. And then what happened was people started realizing their behavior patterns, and it started to break. It took a long time because you have to hammer at something like that.
Well, the thing is, with a cult, here's the thing. How does a cult, I mean, you bring up a good point. How does a cult become a cult? You got to think on this. I mean, but many people probably in the chat may not think about this. What does a cult do to bring people in? Number one, they pick the most vulnerable, or they're mentally ill, or anything. And then they start the brainwashing process, and they hold on to them. And these people are like an extension of whoever the hell's in charge of it. They're like an extension of that person. And therefore, this man literally has a bunch of droogs that would do anything for him because he brainwashed them. And that brainwashing is difficult to break.
But it was more to it than just him, bro.
I get that too.
It was the spirit behind the subject of Dogman. Like, it was way more to it than just him. Like, I'm not going to throw all that at the man's feet. It was way more to it than just him because at the end of the day, if it was just him, people wouldn't have turned their backs on him the way they turned their backs on him and started abandoning him the way they started abandoning him, right?
True.
So it was more than just him. And now that spirit is there trying to find somebody else that will represent it. But there's nobody there to really represent it in that manner because there's just too much truth hitting us, just constant truth, just bam, 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 just constantly flowing out, as opposed to a controlled narrative. So I wouldn't throw it all at his feet. He had a role to play in it. He definitely used his audience in a manner in which everybody can agree was wild. But
I got you. What you're saying makes sense.
But it was way more to it than that. And looking back on it now, man, it was. I took the hit for being a bad guy for a long time because like, oh man, he's this, he's that. Nah, bro, y'all bugged out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all messing with people's children. Y'all doing this. Y'all bugging. That's not stuff that people do. That's in their right mind. So it's that was the saddest thing about it. But the field is in a different place now.
Yes, so. I'm glad
and it's clearly in a different place. Anybody who's in a Dogman field can see it's in a different place now. And that's because there was a battle for what I like to call control of the mind of the field. You know what I'm saying? And so it's in a much better place than it was. I think it's going to stay in a much better place than it was moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, and I look forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be nice, and I like the fact that Josh did his convention, and he had a whole bunch of people come together, and they all were chopping it up, and
it's come a long way. I'm glad to see.
Yeah, it's come a long way. It's come a hell of a long way, and that's the beauty of it, man. But it definitely was. It definitely was a wild, wild west for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of got oversaturated too.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
Yeah, it's got oversaturated. Like I get emails now where people be like, I got 3 dog band encounters to tell you. And then I'm like, give me a number. No, I'd rather write them to you. I'm not sending it to somebody else, bro.
Exactly.
If you're not willing to talk to me, bro, send it to somebody else.
Been there. I know you're getting tired, man. I'm getting kind of there myself, but I'm definitely glad to have had you on, sir. And I definitely look forward to doing this in the future.
All right, we'll catch up, homie. Peace out.
All right, bud. Be safe. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. And I appreciate everyone who stayed in. And I plan on doing this at least, if I can help it, about twice a week. So if y'all want to tune in, feel free to, man. I appreciate everybody. You guys be blessed and y'all be safe, all right? Talk to you soon.